All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We're talking about the Los Angeles Rams in tonight's video. So, I mean, folks, they went 10-7 last year. That was supposed to be like a retool type of season where they had over 10 rookie draft picks and just a very young squad. The expectations were so low. People were saying they're going to be a 5-win team, a 6-win team. This time last year, we were sitting behind this microphone saying, I mean, it's still Matthew Stafford. It's still Aaron Donald. It's still Cooper Kupp. It's still Sean McVay. Why are the Rams going to win 5 games, right? So you win 10 with an extremely young roster, and you have just like breakout star candidate potential players coming all across your defense. Puka Nacua takes the NFL by storm. And here we are. Los Angeles has had another great offseason. They've had an even better freaking draft, and that's what we're going to discuss in tonight's video. But before we do, if you guys enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. We're going to be covering the Rams training camp in its entirety, so stay tuned for videos this upcoming week. But if we could try and get this video to 100 likes, I would greatly appreciate it. So their offseason headliners, free agent moves, Jonah Jackson, brand new left guard, 3-year, $51 million contract. Kobe Parkinson, backup tight end coming over from Seattle. Darius Williams, Cam Curl, Jimmy G, Tre'Davious White, Boston Scott. A very good offseason. You did lose Aaron Donald, and we're going to talk about why that. I mean, it does matter, but we're going to talk about what they did to replace that in just a second. Folks, the only issue the Los Angeles Rams really had last season was defensively. You just needed to kind of shore it up, right? The offense scored enough. Kyren Williams, Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, Matthew Stafford, like they had a really solid offensive line, all things considered, especially with, freaking stud offensive lineman, which we'll talk about him in just a second. The defense just couldn't get stops when you needed them to get you stops, right? So you bring in veterans all across the board defensively, specifically in the secondary. We'll talk about that in just a second, but the win-loss total is 8.5, right? Puka Nacua last year broke the rookie receiving yard number. Kyren Williams had a phenomenal breakout season. He finished 3rd in rushing in the entire NFL, despite only playing, 12 games? Kobe Turner, Byron Young, they combined for 17 sacks and 50 pressures. There's a lot of things going your way. And if Matthew Stafford can just stay healthy, I don't know why San Francisco is just being given the NFC West crown, because the Rams are they're gonna make life difficult for you. And some new additions that are gonna make life extremely difficult for you are a lot of their draft picks, actually. But we'll start round 119, Jared Verse. So Kobe Turner played nose tackle for the Rams last season. Extremely versatile, and he showcased that. Now, losing Aaron Donald really sucks because he led the Rams in pressures last year with 45 total pressures. But you bring in Jared Verse, who is, I think he's a really freaking good stud. Byron Young, by the way, had 35 pressures. Aaron Donald had 45. Verse isn't going to come in and replicate Aaron Donald's statistics. I know it's different positions, but he's not going to replicate his statistics. But keep in mind, last year, Jared Verse did have 9 sacks. He ranked 3rd in the ACC. He also had 50 total pressures, which was 8th most in college football last year. You got a phenomenal first-round pick. What was it? The first 13, 14 picks were offense. This was one of, if not the best edge rusher in the entire NFL draft class, and the Rams landed him at pick number 19. But it doesn't end just there. Round 2, pick number 39, Brandon Fisk. This is actually the first time since 2003 that the Rams have taken defensive players with each of their first 2 picks, right? Fisk is actually the first defensive tackle drafted by the Rams in the first 2 rounds since 2014 when he drafted Aaron Donald. When you watch the tape, you watch the film, this guy's a freak athlete. He's not the biggest dude in the world, but his speed and his athleticism pops off of the screen immediately. Over his last 2 seasons, he had 11.5 sacks when lined up as a defensive tackle. That's the 2nd most in college football. He actually also created 11 sacks over the last 2 years. Lined up as a defensive tackle. That was tied for the most in college football. But folks, it doesn't even end just there. So real quick, because we're talking about it, your defensive lines, Fisk versus Kobe Turner and Bobby Brown, I mean, you could have one of the most young, intriguing, talented young defensive lines in the entire National Football League, and we saw plenty of flashes of it last year. And then we're not even talking about the linebacker room yet. Round 383, Blake Corum, running back out of Michigan. This is extremely important because Kyron Williams just can't stay healthy. He was also even dealing with a foot injury during OTAs. We're going to keep a close eye on that during training camp. But he averaged about 22 rushes per game, Kyron Williams, last year. He finished third in rushing in the league. He only played 12 football games. You needed another running back in the mix after you traded away Cam Akers. So Corum started every game he's played in over the last 2 seasons at Michigan. He's going to be an impact player right away, right from the get-go. Last year, he set the Michigan single season records for rushing touchdown at 27 and total touchdowns at 28. Not a crazy receiver out of the backfield, but great red zone target. He's a little bit small, but he's bulky. He's big. He's going to get you some touchdowns, and you just need somebody to keep Kyron Williams healthy during the long 17-game regular season. Now, there's actually a bunch more rookies that I would love to talk about with the Los Angeles Rams. One of them is Jordan Whittingham. He's really intriguing to me because your wide receiver room, Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp. Puka now has a full offseason where he's healthy. He doesn't have a kid on the way. That's going to help out dividends because the chemistry seemed a little bit off last year with Matthew Stafford, especially right away. But Jordan Whittingham, really interesting. 6th round, 213th overall pick in this year's draft. 505 catches, 12 yards per catch, 1 touchdown at Texas last year. Played in college for 5 years. All at Texas. This just feels like a Sean McVay guy. It just feels like a dude who's going to do all of the little things correctly. So he's going to be a dude I'm keeping a close eye on during training camp because I think he's going to climb up this roster, or the depth chart, I should say. Real quick, the Rams' offensive line could be loaded. You've got Jonah Jackson, new addition. You re-signed Kevin Dotson, and you just moved Steve Avila to center. They're going to win the line of scrimmage. They're going to dominate this line of scrimmage. They're actually the 3rd heaviest unit overall. The only component that I'm keeping an eye on during training camp is Steve Avila transferring to center. He actually played center at TCU, but there's obviously going to be a little bit of development period here. So that's it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hit that like button, hit that sub button. We haven't made a Rams video in way too long, but don't be fooled. We'll be covering you guys all throughout training camp, preseason, and the upcoming regular season. I can't wait. I know you guys can't either. Hit that like button, hit that sub button. Have a great rest of your weekend. But guys, most importantly, let me know down below which rookie are you keeping the closest eye on during training camp. Thank you for watching. Peace.